Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, as October approaches, and we'll be getting the timeline here soon, most likely tomorrow, as they've always done it on the last day of the month, I thought we'd go over the next support card banner that'll be coming out, and so with that, we'll kind of take a look at it. So the first ones that the ones we currently have out right now are Seiyun Sky, the SSR Intelligence, alongside King Halo, the SSR Power, but the next one will be coming out most likely at like the very beginning of October is going to be Mejiro Ardan, the SR Intelligence, and then Mejiro Ryan, the SSR Guts. First thing we'll take a look at here is going to be the SR Intelligence card. And so right now, as you probably are seeing with the Cancer Cup, there is some value now starting to come into play when it comes to Wit's card. And they're going to become even more important into the future as it gets a little bit easier to build up your Umas in your other stats, and then Int becomes very, very important. It's already showing it right now when it comes to trying to make a very good front runner. And so with this one, we can kind of take a look at it. We'll look at it MLB being an SR at some point. You should hopefully MLB these as you pull on other support card banners. And so with this one, unique effect is amplifies the mood effect and then the frequency which hints occur. And then it already has a bonus to hint frequency as well as hint level 3. So pretty nice on the hint right here on just that. Mood effect, really not that big a deal. But it's always nice, but not like one of the least important ones. Fairly low friendship bonus at 20%. Initial friendship gauge at 20. Special priority 35. Rating effectiveness 5. So nothing too crazy. It's your standard SR, but it is decent. And being a wit card, it will have value just from that in the future. When it comes to the hints, one of the big things you'll notice immediately is it comes with left-handed on it. It's another source of left-handed finally coming out. The main one that we've pretty much had to use was Silent Suzuka to get left-handed, and you already probably know that trying to get it here for the Cancer Cup. So this is going to be an alternate method to get it. So pretty nice to have that. But right now, I mean, when it comes to the Umas that care about wit like the most right now are front runners, and if you're building a front runner, you're going to be borrowing that Silent Suzuka speed card anyway. But this is an alternate source with it on a hint versus having to wait for a very rare event to happen for Silent Suzuka. I get it maybe like once every 5 runs. So, and with this one having a fairly high hint frequency, you actually should be able to get this, I wouldn't say reliably every turn, but I would say maybe like every other run instead. So not too bad there. Pace Chaser Savvy. If you want to get a little bit of wit on your Pace Chasers here, preferred position, soft steps, and not that big a deal. But then you have Pace Chaser corners, and right now, like Cancer Cup, that's a really big one to pick up right there as well. And then the skills from event, hesitant Pace Chasers. So nothing too crazy, but I do like that it has left-handed and Pace Chaser corners. Some extra ways to get them currently. And then when you kind of look at the events here, just your typical, like, little bit of energy and stats in there. But I do like the last one of this 2-chain with a 30 plus energy and a mood +1. That can be really nice. If it times it correctly, a lot of times with these events will pop up right after you're rested, and it's like, well, that's a waste. But really nice little boost there. And then nothing too crazy down here. I mean, you got hesitant Pace Chasers tied to one of these events as well, but not too big of a deal on the debuffs. Don't really care about them all that much. So, an okay wit card, but nothing crazy there. But now we have the Mejiro Ryan Guts card. Now we already know a lot of people, we all hate the Guts cards right now because Guts kind of sucks at this point. But in the future, Guts will become an actual good stat. So potentially this could have value in the future when Guts becomes better. Or currently a lot of the Guts cards are very good for making your grandparents and parents. So if we take a look at this one, we'll look at it at MLB here. We'll look at it both not MLB and MLB. I like to just look at it at full MLB, for especially when it comes to borrowing purposes, because one of the big cards I've been borrowing currently is an MLB Mejiro Palmer for my front runners when it comes to making parents. And so this one, right off the bat, has power when training together, skill points when training together, and guts when training together. There's 3 stats that are getting +1 when training together. That kind of, when it comes to thinking about it as a parent-grandparent card, not that big a deal there. Race bonus 10%, fan bonus 20%, special priority 50, hints level 2 and 3 with 30% frequency, and then initial friendship gauge is pretty high at 30. Friendship bonus 25, which is a little bit lower end. But when it comes to the hints, I'm seeing it has Wet Conditions, Rainy Days, and Pace Chaser Savvy. So a decent amount of greens for when you're trying to build those greens into your parents and grandparents there, especially when it comes to Wet Conditions and Rainy Days. I believe we will have champions meetings in the future where both of these are the conditions, because if it's a Rainy Days, then you most likely have Wet Conditions as well. So it could potentially have that value as a parent-grandparent card in the future, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, most of the time that's going to be my borrow. I think it's going to be the same case for a lot of other people as well. Medium straightaways, which is pretty decent, up-tempo. So it is also focused kind of on medium with the gold unyielding there. And then Pace Chaser Savvy is built into the first chain of the 3-chain event. So you're pretty much guaranteed with this card to get Pace Chaser Savvy like every run. Unless you have stupidly bad luck that not even the first level of the chain starts. But I've like almost never seen that. I've seen them not finished, but I have not really seen them not at least get the first one. Usually that comes at the very end when you know you're not going to be able to finish it. And then you have Unyielding, though, non-50-50 at the end as a guarantee there. It's a nice skill, but definitely not going to be worth it when it comes to a Guts card and building an ace there. And nothing too crazy here. You have Pace Strategy, hint +1 on one of the random events here. And that's just a white stamina skill, or stamina recovery skill. So when I kind of look at it, it's nothing too crazy. I could see it potentially for these being used for making parents and grandparents. But nothing too crazy on it. And I know we have many options for all of these already in other cards, and depending on what champions meetings come up, you could probably plan around it. So this is definitely not a pull for one. But like I said, I could see this being something you borrow for, potentially for a parent or grandparent in the future. It just really depends on what you're targeting and what you're trying to build into them. And when you kind of look at the cards coming around, if we can go back here, especially on the support card side of things, and we'll actually switch it so we see everything, because you want to think about, you use the same currency for everything, so you want to think about the Umas coming out as well as the support cards here. It's just, you got right now coming up here, the Summer Maruzenski's 3 banners away. And then you have like the Sweep Tosho winning ticket. If you're a whale, that could be a decent, nice to have one there. But then after that, not too long, you'll have the Nice Nature, and then Riko Kashimoto, Rice Shower ones, kind of right back to back right there. Those are 2 big ones, with the Riko Kashimoto one being the most important. So you really want to save up those 200 pulls for that banner, as well as if you're wanting to do frontrunners getting that Summer Maruzenski. So you're not having much time left to save up if you try and pull on this banner. I mean, these cards are nothing special. And then after that, you pretty much are just kind of chilling, unless you have a specific Uma that you're targeting, until you have the rerun of Kitasan Black, which for most people, that's probably going to be the big thing you want to save up for if you haven't MLB'd it after the Riko Kashimoto banner, which you'll have a decent amount of time to do that. And so with that, I mean, I think it's fairly obvious to everybody. I think it was obvious before I even took a look at this that these were going to be cards to skip, but just thought we'd take a quick look at them and kind of talk about them. It is the one big nice thing I actually think is coming from the SR card, just because it's an alternate source of left-handed. And I'm going to tell you, it's probably going to be the easier way to get it over using the Silent Suzuka card, because it's just a pain trying to rely on that event. When this one already has a pretty high hint frequency as well as hint level for getting left-handed. And then you have Pace Chaser Corners and Pace Chaser Savvies that you can also get into maybe a Pace Chaser parent that you're building to get that left-handed built into. So overall, not too bad, but definitely borrows if you're needing them for parent or grandparent making. You're not going to be using these on ace making at all from taking a look at them. We have way better options out there. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought I'd just go ahead and cover them real quick. And then when we actually do get the timeline showcasing these, I will cover those. I'm expecting to get those tomorrow, as they've done it the last couple months on the last day of the month. So I'll cover the timeline once we see it. I fully expect this to be like the first or the second, based on what we've kind of seen with the accelerated schedule. Let's see, maybe they push things a little bit back just so we have a little bit more awareness of what's coming without it just popping up on us real quick. But yeah, that is pretty much it. And if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.